I'm Cash, and welcome back to Cash Talks Football, where I break down all the goals scored in the Premier League. And today we're doing Liverpool against Tottenham. I'm going to show you a couple of the defensive errors Liverpool will make later on, but also right now I'm going to try to show you, this is a perfect example of what Liverpool did well in this game, is they created width and stretch the back four. Can you see these gaps here that are opening up? And then what ends up happening is Tottenham end up collapsing defensively because of this extra width, and they can't really cope with it. Liverpool don't seem to do this enough because they have the players that can stay out wide, and I'm not sure that I think it's normally Luis Diaz that they've got out here, but right now they've got Gakpo, and older Andy Robinson's making an underlap. I think Liverpool have missed him a little bit this season. I know he's been injured and ins and outs, but not quite sure how many games he's missed. But the extra width does provide all these gaps and opportunities for Liverpool to score. And that's what Mo Salah needs. He needs someone else to give him a little bit of help, and that's what he gets right here. Now you can see the difference in that little point of a second there that I've just moved it on. And Gakpo's coming in, obviously he's being pressured, but you can see how the Tottenham line is all collapsing in on each other, and you can see that right there. They're getting pulled in because there's two players in the middle of the field, so they've got four that's absolutely blocked here. They've got no one can really go with Andy Robinson except for this guy here as he pulls him away, which is only going to open up the space. There's nobody here for Tottenham to do anything when Gakpo cuts into the middle here. They can't provide pressure on the ball. Oh, that's a little bit too many lines, but let's just get rid of that. Who it really should be is this guy right here, but he's getting sucked back, and the centre backs right here should be saying, right, no, he's mine, get out and help, because they need an extra player. There's right now they're 1v1 there, that'll be 1v1 there. Someone else needs to come out and help and provide the balance. So when you've got pressure on the ball and they're running into the space, somebody else needs to be there to win the ball. And there's nobody there. So let me just show you that. This is what I'm talking about. Now Andy Robinson has moved forward. You can see he's opened up the space right here for Gakpo to run into. Now this guy probably wants to go, but he really can't, because if he does go, Andy Robinson is in behind him for free, so he can't really go. And you can see again, these midfielders are boxing here, but there's no one can apply the pressure onto the ball that needs to be. Really, it should be him, but he's on the wrong side of the midfield. See, think about this. If he comes in and pushes this guy on, and then they can push one on over there. It's not happening. It's all way too fast. And in the meantime, you've got Mo Salah sitting there on the back post, who's completely and utterly unmarked. Now you're thinking as well, because defenders are thinking like this: okay, mate, you have a shot from out there. We don't mind. We trust our goalkeeper. You've got to score a worldie. Yeah, we kind of got you. But look at the body shape here. He's set, and there's no pressure being applied to this ball here. Absolutely none from the Tottenham midfield, and it makes it easy for him just to ghost the ball up to the top, bosh, up for Salah, in behind. Honestly, it's a quality pass, but I don't understand why Tottenham are letting Mo Salah be unmarked in the box. But also, I want you to pay attention to this as well. Look at the extra shape that Liverpool have, because everyone is doing their jobs properly. You got the deep midfielder doing his job properly, and what's happened is Tottenham, you can throw a blanket over them. They're all in one little space, so they can't put the pressure on the ball, which they really need to do to stop that quality of pass. And in it comes, and Mo Salah gets himself a goal. Now I think the keeper should have done a little bit better. I know he's coming from one side of the goal to the other, and his knees a little bit too bent for me. If he's up a bit straighter, maybe he gets a stronger hand on the ball. Let me show you that. That's what I'm trying to show you. Look at how bent those knees are there. He's setting himself, and he's just gone down a little bit too quickly. Maybe he hasn't transitioned across quite fast enough, but I think if he's up and strong, he gets a bigger, stronger hand, and he pushes that around the post. Let's get on to the next goal. Here's a classic example of what I'm talking about keeping out wide. Oh, sorry, there's me waiting for the little thing to load. Keeping out wide, you can see Trent Alexander-Arnold. This is where he's more dangerous. I hear people talking about him playing deep roll over here. It's not good, okay? It's not really good for Trent to do that, and there's many reasons why. When he was assisting in the Premier League, he was out here, out wide, with Robinson on one side, him on the other, and these two were leading the way with Kevin De Bruyne for the assists in the Premier League. Over the last year or so, that's stopped happening. Now, with Trent over here and Andy Robertson on the left side, they're a potent force, Liverpool. They get their players forward, and They're always a threat. They can always deliver a quality ball. They've not really been able to do that for a number of reasons. One of which I think they've both been injured for quite a lot this season anyway. So you've got this quality through ball. But again, you can see that the Tottenham midfield aren't close enough to put pressure on or stop this pass. They can't really pressure out there and deal with the player out here wide. They're getting stretched across the middle. You can see that little gap's opening up there. And it all ends up leading to this goal. And you can already see straight away, look, on top of the 18-yard box, not sure who it is for the old Liverpool here, but he's wanting the ball. They're all off to the races. Tottenham's midfield, I think it's these three here, are just nowhere to be seen. He's not close enough. I don't know who he's protecting right here because he's not protecting the these two in any way, shape or form. So basically, Trent's getting really just a free pass and a free roll out here wide. Now, it's very similar to the first goal when Trent just chips the ball up to the back post, just like Gakpo did for Salah. He does it here for Andy Robinson, and it's dropping down. Now, Robinson, he's not necessarily the best finisher in the world, but he does get contact on it, and that's all he's really looking to do. Can I get contact on it and knock it towards the goal? One of the things I always used to say when I was coaching is like, can you touch it? And people just don't take that the wrong way. Can you touch it? Yeah, I'm talking about the football, people. Get your mind out of the gutter. So when you're in midfield, all I really want you to do sometimes is, can you touch the ball and knock it forward? Can you get it forward? Can you move the ball forward? Can you touch it? And when I'm talking about in challenges and in places where you've only really got time to have one touch, can you get it towards the goal? Because then we'll deal with it an extra 5 yards down the field. And that's what he's kind of doing here. He's kind of just getting his foot on it. He's kind of just touching it, but he does get enough contact on it. And he's laying it off here into the middle. Bosch, no idea who that is. It might be Luis Diaz having a shot. But here's one of the interesting things. Andy Robinson keeps running. And of course, because Trent actually is wide and actually down to here's the important thing, by the byline, you've got a defender that's pulled all the way back. So no one can obviously be offsides. One of the things that in the Premier League doesn't happen anywhere near enough, City do it quite a lot. They get down to this little byline and they cut it back, is getting down to this byline. People have tried to, stop and put crosses in from here, but it does make a difference when you're crossing from back here on the byline because it's right in the middle of the goal and it's easier to attack. And of course, the shot comes in, Bosch, and Andy Robinson is right there for the tap in. Keeper, don't think he can really do much about it because he doesn't. It's too close to him. Just to get the save is good enough. I don't think he can really do much more than he is. Can't really get onto it. But again, all of the Tottenham players are there and no one can do anything because they're so pushed back. Their shape is all over the place and Robinson gets himself an easy little goal. Wow! If he did make that sound effect, he would have got another goal because it is the rules in the Premier League. If you make sound effects, goals are worth 2. Let's get on to the next goal. It's interesting the patterns of these goals that Liverpool are scoring here against Tottenham because it's exactly the same. The ball goes up to the back post, Bosch, and someone heads it in. I think Gakpo to Salah, Bosch, Trent to Andy Robinson. Okay, it didn't go in. It was a reboundy, bouncy thing. And we're looking at it right now with Harvey Elliott to Gakpo. Very, very similar goals. Just dinked over and they're just slightly out of position. Now, why I'm saying they're slightly out of position is because generally, and this is how I coach my teams, I don't like my centre-backs being passed there. So when he gets sucked out over there, I want a midfielder doing that job because I want my other centre-back being there. Because my left and right backs are normally too far up the field to actually help. So I don't want them getting sucked out. And you can see he's just a couple of yards out. And I know he's going there to back up his teammate. Absolutely fine. But I'd be making my centre midfielder come and do that job. So my centre backs can have 2 players on the one in the middle and make it harder for this guy to ghost. Because what he does is he ghosts behind and wins a header for free. Well, yeah, pretty much for free. As we've moved it on ever so slightly to avoid the old copyright claims, which Cash is finally going to get a couple of his strikes taken off. Yay me! You can see how Gakpo suddenly got behind him because this guy's just 2 or 3 yards over this way. He's 2 or 3 yards over this way because he's keeping that space real right there. And all of a sudden, there's a little bit of a gap coming in behind. And that's what's caused the problem here. He's just got behind him. I don't know, people just don't defend properly in the Premier League anymore. It's just not a thing. So after the ball's played, now the defender is trying to backstep to find the player he's supposed to be marking instead of challenging for the ball. If he's already with the player, then he can be making the challenge. He's trying to get back to the player so then he can make the challenge. It's not the way you want to do it. You want to be there already, so when he's jumping, you're jumping. And you can see he's already got the jump on him. He's already up in the air. And it's, if you've, people talk about hang time when they jump. The reason why that hang time is important is because normally who jumps first wins the ball. And if they can jump first, have a good hang time, that's why they win the ball. So as he jumps up, he's got a good hang time, bosh, and there he goes. He gets it right into the corner. Good little goal, to be fair. That's a hard header to do because you've got really no power on the ball and there's no real power on the header. It's just accuracy into the bottom corner there. It's a good finish, to be fair. Okay, before we get into the goal here, where it's just a good goal from, I think it's Harvey Elliott, the little wee man. Don't really rate Harvey Elliott. And I'll tell you why. It's because he doesn't do the things which he just did in this game. In this game, I think he's played much better because he's provided an assist with that cross for Gakpo and he scored a great goal. If that's what he needs to keep doing in my book, because he does work hard. He does get the ball very well in midfield. He did make a great pass out for Trent to create that goal. And I think he's capable of doing that, but you just don't see enough of him. Having like 1 assist in 10 games as a midfielder isn't good enough for me to be at this standard. If you're trying to win a Premier League, if you're trying to be a mid-table team, great. He's a great player. But if you're trying to be a, win a Champions League or push on, he needs to add more goals to his game and more assists, which he currently is doing. And he's still young, so he's got loads of time. But going back to what I was saying about Liverpool, you can see the actual width, how much of a difference it makes here. If you just look at what's going on, Tottenham don't have a bad shape. They've got their little 4-4-2 kind of tucked in with their 2 up here trying to pressure the ball. But because Liverpool have got so many players wide, actually on the touchlines doing the right thing, and Trent now can just find his old mate Andy Robinson with a little wonder ball, Hollywood pass all day long, pish, and he can find him. Now normally what would happen, Trent would run over here, blah, 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 and Andy Robinson would like do another Hollywood ball back to him. But this time Andy Robinson's is to Mo Salah further on down the field. But you can see how it's easy it is to stretch your team if you've got quality players that can stay out wide. Now, you might think, oh yeah, but that's easy. It's not. To have the confidence to have your players out high and wide or just out into the space is really difficult, because what it does do is it leaves you massively exposed at the back. And Liverpool have been exposed, especially last season. They got a right kick in from a couple of teams. And that's because your midfield has to supply that balance and the legs to be able to cover on both sides. It's why they were saying, oh, Trent is in midfield. No, Trent wasn't really in midfield. They just didn't want him up here because they couldn't cover for him in the midfield. That was the real problem. It was less distance for him to run from here to there than it was from here to there. And that's a lot of it. People go, oh, but they had him on the ball more. Yeah, but he didn't create more goal opportunities, did he? He created way more goal scoring opportunities when he's out here up and wide, because it's more dangerous. It's so much harder through the middle of the field to create those opportunities. So anyway, let's just get back onto the goal. So from where Andy Robinson was, he's just pinged the ball over here to Mo, and you can see how much havoc that's caused. There was 2 completely perfect lines of 4, and now you've got a line of 3, 2. Some people went out wide to pressure Andy Robinson. He didn't run back hard enough, and all of a sudden Mo Salah's completely and utterly free over here to receive the ball, which he does, and he goes whoppa. Okay, it's a bit of a bad header there as well. That's not good enough. I didn't even see that. Yeah, I wasn't even aware that he just knocked it to Mo Salah's feet. He should have been calling for this guy here. Should have been calling for the ball, and he should have just knocked that straight down to him, bump, and then they can go turn and play the game. Yeah, not good enough there. Not good enough at all. As you can see, though, the same error in the first goal is happening now. Can you see the pocket of space that's appearing? Because Tottenham doesn't really have a midfield that's close enough to the Liverpool midfield. So the people that are there are all being pulled back, pressured back. He's not really close enough. This guy needs to be about here. So when Mo Salah plays it, he is in the opportunity to nick the pass off Harvey Elliott's first touch. It's not close enough. It's just casual. It's way too casual. Now, of course, one player does come out to pressure him, but I want you to watch this here, because this is also, I think, it comes down to player reputation. So who's that kiddie for Chelsea at the moment? Is it Cole Palmer, left-footed player? Playing really good. I think if it's him, this guy here comes out and tries to close him down quicker. If this is Saka or if this is Mo Salah in this area, I think he panics and tries to close him down quicker. But because it's Harvey Elliott, he basically lets him take the shot. He lets him score the goal, because he's going, whatever, mate, you're not going to score from there. And he does. So let's move this forward. Do you see, like, he's not really bothered about going for the ball. The ball's the only important thing for him right now, because this guy's not goal side. He is goal side. He's the closest defender, and he's nowhere near close enough to stop this shot going in. And I think that is a massive thing. It's on reputation there. He's just going, go on then, have a shot. And he does, and he smashes it with a worldie. I can't really play too much more because I will get copyright struck. And he does score a worldie, but he doesn't get the extra 2 points because he doesn't make the sound effects. Let's see if I can just play that, shall we? Whoppa! Yeah, and he scores it straight up into the top corner. Let's get on to Liverpool defensive frailties now, so we can break that down a little bit for you. So it's similar to how Trent was got in behind on the last his kind of assist over to Andy Robinson's goal. You can see the actual run in behind. That's to the ball. That's the run in behind. You can see as well, don't know who this is at the right back, but he's playing Richarlison here onside. Yeah, there's all sorts of issues going on here. That ball in behind is way too easy. This guy's getting caught up too high. He really needs to be back with a back four. He's probably 4 yards out of position here, maybe 5. He's just too high. You can't afford to do that. If this runner has any pace at all, so he doesn't have to be faster than you, he just has to be starting his run before you, which is the case here. So you've given him 4 yards because you're too far forward, and if he just starts his run before you, he's going to beat you every single time. And that's what happens. It's a simple ball in, and it's a simple ball across. But this is the exact same thread passed into the channels that Trent received on the other side. Dosh, in it goes, and then off to the races. See, Richarlison, to me, he does look offside, but on the old thingy boofy back, I don't think he is. You can see the slide tackle there to try to stop the pass coming across, and of course this centre-back is not close enough, and it's just a tap-in for Richarlison. Yeah. Let's get on to the next goal. Okay, so this is a common error that happens in the Premier League quite often. This is the goal that I was really trying to break down for you and show you, because it's 2 defenders that don't know what they're doing and they panic. So you've got Trent, and I think it's Kwanzaa, I think I'm saying his name right there. And what they do is they both end up going for the ball, and you can see how far the most overrated centre-back in the world is Virgil van Dijk, and he doesn't read this situation and start closing this gap as fast as possible. So as soon as these 2 guys lose the ball goes, lose it, kind of goes out wide, gets out there, however it does. Trent's getting in a fight with this kiddie here, right? Okay, fine, but no one's pressuring the ball. So what Kwanzaa sees, he sees Trent next to him, and Trent's facing, you can see he's facing his own goal, so his body shape is completely and utterly wrong. So then this kiddie here goes over to press the ball. Now, if that happens, Trent just needs to stay exactly where he is, because his teammate is going to bail him out, because Trent's too busy fighting with this kiddie here. Right? What ends up happening is, which happens a load of times in the Premier League, is both players end up running toward the ball. Look, Bush, as soon as they go towards the ball, well, he's completely and utterly free. And that's where the mistake is. They both panic. No one's got a calm head amongst them and go, right, okay, well, we can't both run for it because we're going to leave a player completely and utterly free in the middle. And as you can see, the pass goes straight between both of them into Richarlison, who doesn't finish it, but he holds it up. And I think Son ends up tapping it into the net box. But it's all because these 2 players go for the same ball. They panic and they just basically forget the player that they were just fighting with and arguing with a second ago, and he's just created the goal for him. It's that simple. That's why people talk about holding your shape, not panicking, doing the right things, because if you do, you know what? It's really hard to score goals on people. Generally, people score because you make mistakes. That's a mistake. They're both pressured for the ball. One hasn't held their position, or the other one hasn't covered for when Trent hasn't covered for when Kwanzaa's gone over, or vice versa, and then Tottenham end up getting another goal back. What is interesting is the way Richarlison receives the ball, because he does have a chance to just take a first-time shot. And this is why he doesn't score as many goals as he really should do, because he's not a natural predator, natural goal scorer. He can score, but he's not natural at it. If he was, his first touch would have been into the back of the net, not to take a touch, turn, and lay it off to Son. And after this, after that mistake, everything else is kind of secondary, because you're just sort of trying to play catch-up then. Van Dijk's coming over to cover. You've got these 2 going, uh-oh, what have we done wrong? And it's just a complete mess. Drops to Son, and he does something interesting here as well. He doesn't take a first-time shot, but he fakes it, and as he goes to touch it, he sets the keeper down. That's one of the most interesting things when you're actually doing proper level coaching, is playing first-time football is genuinely bad, because everybody can read where the pass is going. You have to take a touch. And when you tell people that, they just don't understand it. You just know what level they're at. The reason you have to take a touch is because then it opens up all the parts. You don't know what he's going to do. If he's just playing first time, you know where his body shape is. You know where Son's body shape is. You know he's trying to find that corner, because that's the only place that he can go based on his body shape and his body movement. The minute he takes a touch, it opens up both sides of the goal, and now you're in trouble. And that's what he does. He takes a touch, opens up both sides of the goal, sees the keeper's gone, because the keeper's automatically gone where Son's body shape is. I do this on courses all the time, where you point at people walking with their shoulders, and you see, okay, well, that's where the ball's going to go. You know where it's going, because his hips and shoulders are facing that way, and that's where the ball's going to go. He doesn't. He turns it, takes a touch, switches it, and puts it into the other corner, and gets himself a goal. Other than that, I'll see you next time on Cash Talks Football.